Welcome friends. This video is going to focus on yoga for healthy backs. So our backs are key to feeling good. Our spine was one of the first things that developed in our body as an embryo. And so if our back isn't feeling good, it's really hard to feel good. So yoga is a great way to help your back feel good, strong, and healthy. So let's get started. Let's start on our backs. Resting your hands on your belly so you can feel the breath moving as you inhale and exhale. You should literally feel your belly rise and fall, as well as your chest rising and falling with the breath. Trying to make the breath as smooth and silky as possible with as little effort as possible. Bring your feet up in the air. We're going to start with some core work. So bring your feet up in the air, lift your shoulders off the ground, reach your arms forward, and try and stay there as you lift and lower one leg at a time. So when the left leg is straight and stretches down, the right leg is up. And when the right leg stretches down, the left leg is up. So just go back and forth, focusing on your breath, keeping your low back pressing into the floor, staying nice and grounded. And then take a little break, hug your knees into your chest. Rotate your legs in any direction that feels good to you. And then we'll do it again. Well, it's more core work, something a little different. So bring your legs up, interlace your fingers behind your head. And this time we're going to do a little twist. So as you bend your left knee, stretch your right elbow towards your left knee. As you bend your right knee, stretch your elbow towards the left knee. I might have just said that. So we're going to opposite shoulder to opposite knee. And the leg that isn't bent is straight, and it can be as close to the floor as you want or as far away as you want. Closer will make it a little more challenging. If you try and keep both shoulders off the mat, that also will add more challenge. So there's lots of different opportunities here to work at the pace that's going to feel good for you. That's going to feel challenging, but also something that's doable. And once we build our core strength, the core really helps to support our back. It's important as you do that to keep the low back grounded, the belly toned. Don't let an arch happen in your back. That's when you might start feeling some discomfort. Finally finished. So hold your knees, gently rock around in circles. Let your back relax, your belly relax, but not for too long. So now we're just going to do these little pumps. So the idea is without swinging your legs are going to be up in the air, balanced over your hips. And without swinging your legs, on your exhale, you're going to try and press the belly down to lift it, let the hips lift up like barely, not even an inch, like maybe an eighth of an inch. So there's no swing to your legs to get them up. There's just this pressing down of the belly. Then we're going to rock all the way up into downward facing dog. So use the core awareness that we just developed, drawing your belly to the spine and really having an active core to support your low back and down dog. Think of your back as being the primary focus in down dog so that you don't round your spine initially. But now we're just going to do some cat-cow waves. So we're going to round our spine forward to plank and stretch back to down dog. Trying to bring as much fluidity and movement into your spine as possible. So this feels really good. You kind of feel like the ocean, this wave-like action in your spine. Feeling that flexibility, mobility, and this is what helps our spine to stay healthy. So now come into plank, stay in plank, and keeping your belly toned and lifted, lift your right leg up. And without arching your back or dropping your belly, start to do little pulses up and down. We'll go to the left side. So these aren't big moves. It's more like you want to feel your glutes working and your core turned on. Just little pulses. And stretch back to your down dog. You can bend your knees back and forth. And then we'll wave forward to plank again. This time lift your right leg up, a little more of those pulses again. So toning the glutes, working the abs, little movements for big gains. And we'll switch sides. Go pulse up through the left leg. Keep it going. And rest in down dog. You can always rest in child's pose if you need more of a break. And round forward to plank, lower your knees to the ground and slowly lower your chest all the way down. Bring your hands forward, palms facing each other. And as you inhale, reach the right arm and the left leg up together. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left arm, right leg up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right arm, left leg up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left arm, right leg up. Exhale, lower. And continue to move back and forth, alternate arm and leg lifting, feeling your back working, engaging the muscles around the spine. And then we'll bring both legs and both arms up and kind of swim. So keep your chest as lifted as you can. Stretch your arms forward and then wave them back, forward and back. Trying to hold the legs up, really working your back. You can always lower the legs to the floor if this is too much. You can take a break if you need to, or keep going. And bring your hands to the ground, fingers just below your shoulders, and come up for just a mini cobra. Really using your back rather than your hands to lift your chest. So just these little lifts, working on building those muscles of the back so that you don't feel any pinching in your low back, but rather you're thinking of keeping the low back long and lifting up the upper back, trying to get a little more movement in the upper back. Now lift your legs up. Don't use your hands, so your hands hover above the floor and try and hold that lift. And stretch back, downward facing dog. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to, keeping the spine long. Then coming up onto your tiptoes, start to walk your feet all the way forward to your hands. Press into your hands, lift your heels up, and if you want to, you can start to play with shifting your weight forward, really pressing into your hands, drawing your legs towards your spine, and lower down. Doesn't look like much, but the more you get your weight over your hands, the more your core has to work. So again, lift up onto your tiptoes, and as much as you feel comfortable or a little bit uncomfortable, start to lean forward, working on getting those hips more over the spine, more over the shoulders, hips over the shoulders, and then come down onto your backs. So we're going to do some bridge poses. So if you can touch your heels and your hands, that would be a nice distance. If not, that's okay. And we're going to push down into the feet, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the inner thighs towards each other, reach the arms overhead and hold here. And lower down. And we'll do the same thing again. So press the legs towards each other, squeeze the glutes, lift up through your hips, lift up through the upper back, press into your feet, and slowly lower down. Bring the arms back down by your sides. Cross your right ankle above your left knee. And start to lift your hips up again for like a one-legged bridge pose with an external rotation of your right leg. So hold here. So now we're making our legs and our glutes do a little more work by using just one leg to lift up. And we'll switch sides. So cross the left ankle above the right knee. Press into your right foot, lift the hips up. Breathe here. Feel the glutes working, your back muscles working, your legs working, and lower down. Both feet to the floor. Hug your knees into your chest. It's always important to remember to give yourself a little love and give yourself a little hug. And release your feet down again. Another bridge pose. So this time we're going to come up into bridge pose and then lift and lower the left leg. So we're supporting our body with one leg again. Try not to let the hips drop as we lift and lower the leg up and down. And we'll switch sides. So the left leg is holding your body up and the right leg is lifting up to perpendicular and lowering, maybe to touch the floor. And go back and forth, trying to keep those hips level. And lower down, hug your knees into your chest again. Take a little break, a little breather. Should be breathing the whole time, but it's easier to breathe when you're really relaxed. And now stretch your right leg up in the air, interlace your fingers on the back of your right thigh, stretch your left leg flat. We're going to do some hamstring stretches. So the closer you bring your thigh to your chest, the deeper the stretch it will be. So you can keep it further away or closer. It's up to you. You got to experiment with yourself. Each time you do this on the mat, don't just rush into it, but take time to notice how you feel. So there's a little bit of pressure of the leg into the hands resisting. And release the right leg, stretch it out, bring the left leg up. Same thing here, just some basic hamstring stretches, but keeping the legs activated, keeping the muscles of the legs activated. You can flex and point your foot if you like. So take enough time, as much time as you need to determine how close you want your thigh to your ribs. It shouldn't feel painful at all. This should feel like a good stretch. Like your muscles are being activated and stretched in a way that maybe you don't feel that often in your daily life. Hug your knees into your chest again. Let your back settle into the earth. And then we're going to rock up and back to downward facing dog. So basically come into down dog in whatever way you want. And we'll do some of those cat-cow waves from down dog to plank. Letting the breath guide you, feeling the movement of the spine. And come into plank again, keep the belly lifted, reach your right leg up. Now if you want to really challenge yourself, start to slowly bring the left hand forward. Keep hugging your arm and leg in toward the center. We'll try the other side. So lift the left leg up, slowly bring the right arm forward. And if you fall, just come on back up, hug the midline, reach through your fingers and toes. Find the balance with your back and your core muscles and your leg muscles, and the balance is kind of infinite. We use really everything in our body, even though we might focus on one thing more than another thing. Walk your feet forward to your hands. Notice your low back. Should have a little bit of rounding, a little bit of flatness to it. Then we'll do these spinal waves in Uttanasana. And finally, come on up to standing. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Inhale, reach your arms up, reach toward the sky, and exhale, bow softly to the earth. Touching your fingers to the earth, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bow. Plant your hands and step back to a lunge. So step the right leg back, left leg is in your lunge. Reach your arms up and your heart up. Scoop your tailbone a little bit, so keep your tailbone as long as you can, even though it's coming into an arched position. And then step your weight forward into your left foot, bring the right foot up into Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Bring your right knee forward, reach your arms up, straighten your leg if possible. And then we'll reach all the way back, Warrior 3. So you really have to use your core to be able to balance in Warrior 3. And bring the right leg forward, keep your knee bent or straighten the leg. As you reach your leg back, reach your arms back, this is an easier variation of Warrior 3. Not to say that it's easy, it's easier than the arms forward. We're just going to go back and forth, moving with the breath, and then slowly reach your right leg all the way back, coming back into your crescent lunge. And exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Notice how good your back feels. Even though my legs look straightish, it's important to bend your knees if you need to. Then hop or step forward to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. And step your left leg back. So your right leg is forward in the lunge. Inhale, reach your shoulders up, chest up, arms will float up and maybe even back a little bit. Keep the tailbone down a little bit, and then step your weight into your right foot. Extend forward, Warrior 3. Bend the knee, bring the arms up, the knee forward. Keep your knee bent or straighten the leg. And then bend your knee, reach back again, Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. Inhale, bend the knee, reach your leg forward. Maybe straighten your leg. Exhale, bend the knees, stretch back, warrior three. And slowly step all the way back to your lunge. Inhale, reach your heart up, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees and then lightly hop or walk forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Reach your right leg up to the sky. And then reach your arms up and back, warrior three. So to me, it's a little bit harder coming up into warrior three than going down. And then if you want to play here, you can bend your right knee, reach back with your right hand for your right foot, and start to open up the hips, keeping the core engaged to protect your low back, reaching your heart forward as much as you're reaching your foot back, and come back down to our standing forward fold. We'll try the other side. So reach the left leg up. See if you can reach your arms up coming into warrior three. And lower your right hand down. Take your left hand to your left foot. Kick your foot into your hand. And start to lift up through your knee. Finding that tension between your leg and your arm. Opening up into a nice, beautiful back bend. And lower your knees, come into a squat. And just rest here. You can rest your upper arms on your knees. Just kind of gently rock back and forth. So squatting is something you should practice every day. It helps your ankles, your calves, your hips, your shins, your thighs. And then we'll come back up into a standing forward fold. And if you want to play with crow pose, start to nestle your knees into the upper arms. Gaze forward of your fingertips. So don't gaze back, gaze forward. Start to shift your weight forward until maybe you can pick one foot up. Maybe you can pick the other foot up. Keep drawing your belly towards your spine. Keep your gaze moving forward. Don't look back at your feet. Look forward of the mat. Slowly lower down. So that was just like an extra bonus to play with if you wanted to, if you have a little bit of crow pose in your practice. And then we'll come into Navasana boat pose. So lift your legs up. Your legs can be straight or bent. You can hold the back of your thighs or have your hands on the mat behind your back. So legs straight, arms forward is the most challenging. And then we'll slowly lower down onto our backs, hugging your knees into your chest. Giving your back a little massage and just letting yourself rest from what was, pretty challenging sequence there, depending on your practice. So it's always important to take as many breaks as you need to. And at the same time, make sure to challenge yourself. So we're gonna rock up to seated, and then we're gonna do like a reverse tabletop. So lift your right leg up and lift and lower your hips to the floor. This will really help to strengthen your upper back and the shoulders, the triceps, deltoids. And just lifting and lowering. Lower your foot down, lower your tush down, lower your hips down. Prepare yourself and we'll do it again with the other leg lifted. So lift up, reach your left leg up. Lower your hips down towards your heels and inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. So if you try and touch your hips to your heels, it might give you a little bit of a shoulder stretch, depending on how open your shoulders are already. Keep lifting, lowering. I think maybe got one more time, or that was the last one. And lie back on your back again, hugging your knees into your chest. Letting your low back relax, noticing as always how you feel. And then we're going to rock all the way up and back into downward facing dog. So come into down dog however you want to, whatever way you want to. Stretch out the back again. Inhale, reach your left leg up. And this is something to play with. So if you want, you can just try lifting your right arm off the floor maybe hovering your fingertips, maybe reaching your arm back towards your hips, maybe even trying to grab your foot. And you notice I'm moving very, 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 very slowly here. This is a tippy pose. So I'm trying to press my chest forward as much as I'm pushing my foot back, pulling my foot back, until there's space starts to open between your arm and your leg and your backs, and lower down. So shorten your down dog stance. Lift your right leg up. Maybe hover your left fingertips. Maybe reach your left arm back. Maybe bend your right knee and reach for your foot with your hand. And start to kick your right leg back as you pull your chest forward. And if you fall, it's no big deal. You just try it again. So this is definitely going to challenge you, unless you have this regularly in your practice, or you just have a great sense of balance and a lot of core strength. Let's lower our knees to the floor and rest in child's pose. Notice how your back feels, especially the low back. Notice how your shoulders feel. And just let yourself surrender here. Surrender to the innocence of being a child, to the humility of bowing forward. And we'll come back into one more downward facing dog. Hop your feet forward to your hands, come into a squat, lower onto your backs. And we'll do a gentle twist. So twist both legs over to the right, turn your head to the left with your eyes closed. Let your whole body relax here. And then inhale back up to center, pressing your left hip down to the floor, and twist over to the left. Head turns to the right, eyes are closed, so you can really sink in and really just let go here. Twists are so great for your back as long as you don't overdo it. You don't force it. Give yourself support if you need it, like a block under your knees or between your knees. And then we'll come into happy baby, just gently rocking side to side. If you want, you can bring the soles of the feet together, interlacing your fingers on the outside edge of the feet, and stretch your knees away from your shoulders. Basically just play around here. Straighten your legs, bend one knee at a time, and both knees, whatever feels good. And then bringing your feet to the floor as wide as the mat, gentle windshield wipers back and forth. I often like to do this, ending my practice with little subtle twisting windshield wiper, or just some gentle supported twist. Make the movements nice and slow so you're not rushing through this. And give yourself one more hug and stretch the legs out for Savasana. Total surrender, total relaxation. Please, if you like this video, please hit the like button. I would love it if you subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. I'm really here trying to be of service to you, to help you feel really good, and to help you be able to move with grace, build strength, and find balance. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.